Hey everybody, Dr. Tim here, and today I want to talk to you about dementia. Now, usually I talk about chronic pain, things that could improve your health. Well, dementia affects so many people, I feel compelled to share this with you. How many people do you think it affects in the world? 50 million people, all right? As of today, it affects 50 million people, and in 30 years, it will affect 115 million people by 2050. Now, why is dementia something I have researched and want to share with you about? Not only because it's not about pain, right? Dementia, most people when we talk about dementia, it's not related to pain so much, but I want to give you tips on how you can improve your life, function, and also longevity. The reason why it's so special to me is my grandmother on my father's side, the last few years of her life with diabetes and neuropathy, dementia hit her hard. Alzheimer's was the reason why she had dementia. She had also low vascular blood flow in her brain as well. And those are just some of the causes. Now, most people are confused between what is dementia, what is Alzheimer's. So I want to break that down. Dementia is really the blanket word that is used for people who have lost function, memory, and this has interacted and interfered with their daily lifestyle. There are multiple causes of dementia, Alzheimer's being one of them, low vascularization to the brain. There's Lewy bodies, there's also frontal temporal conditions with the frontal lobe of the brain. Dementia affects people all over the world, doesn't matter if class, money, first world, third world countries, it affects everyone. It has affected movie stars, presidents, famous people in the world. So it affects everyone the same. Is dementia something that we can really prevent? Well, let's take a look at the facts. Thousands of studies has been done to look at dementia. Trillions of dollars has been spent on the studies and the development of products or drugs that tries to defeat dementia, but none has succeeded so far. So let's take a look at a brain. When you look at a healthy brain weighs right about 2.5 pounds, okay? A brain in someone who has dementia, that brain is about half the size, about 1.3 pounds. So when you look at that, there's a dramatic difference between a regular sized brain or a regular person's brain who doesn't have dementia versus someone's brain who has dementia. So what are the top 5 risk factors of dementia that has been proven to increase your chance of dementia? Number 1 is going to be the lack of exercise. Number 2 is middle age high blood pressure in your 40s and 50s. Number 3 is smoking. Number 4 is obesity during your mid-age range around 40 to 50. And number 5, diabetes. So when you put the 5 together, how do we attack each of those 5 to really diminish our chance of dementia? Number 1 is exercise. Now your exercise could be aerobic, okay, which is exercise, walking, hiking, swimming, aerobic exercises, or it could be anaerobic, which is resistant training with bands, right, with weights. Exercise is not just good for your muscles, it's good for your bones, it's good for your mood, it can decrease diabetes, right? And it can also help the brain because as you move, you are exercising your limbs, which feeds back to the brain and it exercises the brain. Also, while you're moving, you increase the flow of cerebral spinal fluid to the brain, and now you're flushing and renewing all the fluids around the brain. It also helps with vascularization because you are inhaling more oxygen during that time. So exercise is going to be amazing for the brain. How much exercise do you need? Usually, you want to go out for a 30-minute to a 1-hour walk every single day, or you train, right? The minimum is 30 minutes of exercise a day. If you can get it to an hour, that is phenomenal, even better. It's never too late or too early to start exercising. Now you might think, well, exercising for the muscles, how do we exercise the brain? You can do crossword puzzles, Sudoku, maybe learn a new language, learn new music instruments, or you go online and look for brain activity or brain exercise softwares and apps that really makes you think. The bigger problem where people start losing their brain is when they start watching television all day long. And now you're being fed information all day long, and you're not actually reacting. You're not actually proactively thinking about how to solve problems and actively utilizing your brain. Information is just being fed to you, and that, I believe, is going to increase your chance of dementia. So watch a little bit less TV, okay? Learn a little bit more, but watch less. Number 2, obesity. Obesity in your midlife, when it's shown to be in your 40s and 50s, when you are obese, it shows an increase of chance of dementia 10 to 15 years later. In the event when you are obese, your body's more inflamed, your body's more toxic. That also means there's more fatty deposits in the brain. That will ultimately increase in the chance of dementia. Number 3, smoking. How does smoking cause dementia? Well, you can probably guess it. When you smoke, you have less oxygen to your body, which means less oxygen to the brain, and that will increase the chance of dementia later in life or earlier in your life. Diabetes. How does diabetes affect Alzheimer's and ultimately dementia? That's because when you have diabetes, you have increased plaque in the brain that prevents nerve conduction, blood flow as well. And now your brain activity starts to slow down. And that's why in recent studies, Alzheimer's is actually named diabetes type 3. Then you might ask, well, what kind of diet should I be eating? How should I be eating? Across the board, the Mediterranean diet is going to be the best food diet for overall health, right? When you look at what is the Mediterranean diet, well, the lowest part, if you look at Mediterranean diet, there's a lot of legumes, there's a lot of plants, a lot of greens, right? Then the next thing is some seafood, fish. Make sure you eat wild caught. The next thing above that, smaller triangle in the food chart, is going to be your poultry, your eggs, right? And milk, consume less of that. And the highest block where it's the least amount of food you should be consuming is red meats, steaks, right? And other meats as well. So overall, when you look at someone's diet and Mediterranean diet, that is where you want to look at as we age. Well, why do it as we age? Start earlier, right? The standard American diet, I call it the SAD diet, is almost completely flipped around. It has a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of meat, a lot of fats, and not a lot of vegetables, not a lot of fish, right? A lot of Americans don't even like to eat fish, and yet that is the one thing in the Mediterranean diet that can prevent, well, maybe not prevent, but delay dementia and Alzheimer's. You know that there are studies that show hearing loss is also related to dementia, where people who start losing their hearing ultimately 10, 15 years later dramatically increases their chance of dementia. Now, it doesn't mean that when you lose hearing, you will get dementia, or people who have dementia have lost their hearing. Here's what the study found is that people who lose their hearing because of loss of social interactions with their friends, family, they're not engaging as much, their brain's not working as much. So quite frankly, people who have lost hearing but has hearing aids, they were not affected at all by the rates of increase in dementia because they were now engaging with people, engaging with the public, engaging with friends and family. So if you are losing hearing, or if you know people who have lost hearing, make sure you encourage them to wear hearing aids to prevent the chance or shorten or delay maybe the chance of dementia. So ultimately, when we look at all these facts, is can we help or prevent dementia? You know, the true answer is, can we prevent it? True answer is no. But can we delay it? Absolutely. And that's the key, is we can delay it, right? When you look at environmental factors, all the things that I just mentioned, that's 30% of the risk for dementia is in your control. It's all environment. It's based on what you eat. Do you smoke? Do you exercise? 30% is based on that, and it's controlled by that. And if we control 30% of our chance of getting or delaying dementia, man, we've got it. We can get a grip on this. Now, you might ask, well, Dr. Tam, how much of it can it help, right? Did you know that if you only delay dementia in our population by 2 years, you're able to decrease the numbers of dementia by 20%? If you delay it by 5 years, we're able to delay or decrease. We're able to decrease the number of people with dementia by 50%. Well, how does 20 years or 2 years equal 20% and then 5 years equals 50? That's because dementia is something that onsets later in life. So when's the best time to get dementia? After we die, hopefully, right? So when you look at dementia is something that affects so many people in the world, and I really hope that this video has brought some light to what you can do to delay dementia as much as possible for you and for your family. Have a great day.